It might be winter, it might be cold out there, but we are back for the next round of the Lotus Challenge 2025 season, this time at Redstar. First time this season we are running in anti-clockwise direction, 7th of June, and we could not be more excited to get our engines going. Looks like we got a couple of problems for a few people to start the day with, but in the meantime, let's take a look at our sponsors. Sure Travel Set is your dedicated team of professional travel specialists with first-hand experience exploring the world. N4 Autocraft, your preferred auto body repairer in Victoria East. African Packaging and Water Solutions. APWS is the leading supplier of quality bubble insulation, packaging and pool cover products. CSI Control Systems Integration. Systems integration for improved productivity and efficiency. Take advantage of our 17 years worth of experience integrating hardware, software and people. Leap Racing, we focus on race car rental for Class L as well as supplying cost-effective and quality components for people's race cars. And just like that, we are ready to go with race one, on board with Nick Hodgson now, and pole for Class L. Looks like he gets a pretty decent start. Looking at Class B ahead of us, we've got Sean Hepburn on the left-hand side there, looking to try and make a move into turn one. Nick cuts him off slightly and maintains that provisional first position, down a gear into second and racing away all over the back of Tennis Burtis now in Class B. Looks like Tennis has a little bit of a problem there, and Nick goes absolutely sailing by. Either missed a gear change or something has happened. You can see Tennis sticking his head out the cockpit saying, hang on guys, I've got a problem. On board with David Jeremy now as we go flying by, just missing Tennis. And David Jeremy, new to Class L, of course, usually in Class B, but wasting absolutely no time whatsoever and making a move on Tim Venn. You can see Andre Duplessis behind Tim as well, and looking to use that slipstream already. Back on board with Nick Hodgson now. Oh, as we see Andre De Lange, our new Class B entry, spinning off there through the tight twisty section of this Redstar track. Lap one, of course, could be cold tires, could be something wrong with that car, not quite sure. We'll have to find out from Andre later on, but luckily everybody seems to have sailed on by and no damage caused. You can see Nick Hodgson just trying to hang on to the back of a Class B. That looks to be JP Nokia just up ahead, looking to try and hang on, get in that slipstream and build a gap in Class L. Back now with Andy Fulton all over the back of Sean Hepburn. These two going at it, absolutely hammer and tongs. We've seen it throughout the season. This has been a long-term battle, and it has once again resumed in the cool temperatures of winter out in Delmas. And Andy Fulton looking to go up the inside of Sean Hepburn. Nothing happening there, but Sean locks up heavily, switching back to Rowan van der Walt. We can see exactly what happens, just goes straight on, and Rowan is able to capitalize and gain a position. That's really unfortunate for Sean, but I tell you what, these Class L's are all over the back of Sean like bees on honey, and they are eager to gain a position wherever they possibly can. Of course, Lotus Challenge brought to you by ATS Motorsport and Dunlop tires. Those Dunlop tires clearly weren't quite up to temperature for Sean there, but we see another lockup. These winter conditions, while it is nice and sunny, they are certainly a little bit tricky to navigate. David Jeremy, though, doing a fantastic job for his first time out in Class L and looking to gain yet more positions. You can see Sean is really struggling. I actually think, whoa, they come so close, almost touching there, but I reckon there is a problem. Sean's got a problem. Oh, and he spins around. There's definitely something wrong with that vehicle. Very unusual to see Sean have quite so many issues. On board now with Andre Duplessis, as we can see Andre De Lange, Andre on Andre action. Andre De Lange getting his nose in and reclaiming some positions, but getting very squirrely around the outside of this tight right-hander. The outside of that corner is super slippery and definitely not where you want to be, but Andre on a nice recovery drive, gaining a few positions back there and looking to get himself back to the top of Class B. Speaking of the top of Class B, we are now on board with Jeff Gable, who is having a phenomenal season this year, 2025 Lotus Challenge, and is absolutely absolutely running away at the front of the Class B Championship and looking to try and run away from JP Nokia. JP, of course, has got other ideas. Speaking of, Andre de Lange screams past David Jeremy. David, of course, used to a Class B car and used to be doing that to the L's, but this time it's being done to him. And looking to capitalize though on that slipstream and get onto the back of Jean du Toit. Jean making his car as wide as possible, not willing to let the Class B, the fast charging Andre de Lange through. Andre tries to go around the outside again, super slippery, and just finds himself turning around sideways and facing backwards. That's really unfortunate for Andre, but he will be back, I'm sure, with the extra speed he has on board now with Barry Dunford, looking to have some extra speed on Rowan van der Walt at the moment. The R-Pack Solutions car looking fantastic in the winter sun. But Barry Dunford is going to be all over the back of Rowan and trying to make the most of his newfound pace, having had a phenomenally successful practice day. Barry Dunford is right up there and looking to make moves on these guys who are used to being at the top of Class L. Speaking top of Class L, we've got Andy Fulton, who of course was battling with Sean Hepburn, but has now been given a breath of fresh air with Sean going off the track and is looking to sail away in second position at this stage. Barry Dunford now all over Rowan van der Walt, trying to go around the outside of turn 1. This will be a very impressive move if he can make it stick. Looks like it doesn't quite happen. You can see Davide Favo and Jean du Toit and David Jeremy all looking to get in on a piece of this action, and everybody hunting for a little bit of slipstream. Jean du Toit trying to make a move immediately. Barry Dunford though looking to try and get past Rowan van der Walt. You can see Davide Favo, I should say, in the background there, trying to also capitalize. We've got 3 wide. We've got 3 wide at the end of this long straight. That is insanely brave driving, and look at that. Davide Favo gets a double overtake on both Barry Dunford and Rowan van der Walt. What a phenomenal move and fantastic racing from all of these guys, but it is absolutely not over yet, and Rowan is unhappy about that situation, looking to try and reclaim that position he feels is undoubtedly rightfully his in his mind. Barry Dunford all over the back of him though, still trying to pressure a mistake, trying to find a way through. Davide's found a way through. He is undoubtedly going to try and find a way through as well. Rowan van der Walt though all over the back of Davide Favo, goes up the inside. Oh my goodness, that almost resulted in contact. Luckily Rowan bails out of it right at the very last second, spins the car around, but means that no contact is made. That is extremely lucky and very fortunate that Ron managed to do that in order to avoid contact. David Jeremy, though, trying to avoid contact with Jean du Toit, clearly got the pace on him at the moment. Davide Favo up ahead, a little bit of breathing room, just a little bit. In Class L, it's generally all these guys need just to break away slightly, but look at that, Barry Dunford finding some good pace while Jean and David are battling. David trying to go round the outside of Jean du Toit. Generally speaking, that's not going to quite work out. You're going to find there is less grip out there, but David is somehow making it work. Still got his nose stuck up the inside of Jean. This is typically where we're not seeing many overtakes, but David Jeremy is finding a way to make these happen. This is phenomenal racing. You can see Andre Duplessis in the background trying to make a move as well, and David Jeremy just manages to squeak past Jean du Toit. Great little move there, a phenomenal racing, but John is all over the back of him immediately. Looks like David got a poor exit from that tight right-hander, and it is on once again. Jean du Toit this time trying to go around the outside. Again, that's going to be very slippery, Jean. You're going to have to watch out there, careful not to spin, and you can see Andre Duplessis just closes up. Oh, speaking of spinning, Davide Favo getting it all kinds of wrong, and that gives Barry Dunford a position and David Jeremy a position, and Jean du Toit is now in on the action trying to gain a position. This is fantastic racing. Classic mid-pack Class L Lotus Challenge. Look at this, and Davide is going to lose another position to Andre Duplessis. It just shows you in Lotus Challenge you have to be on it every single corner, every single lap from start to finish. Otherwise, you will be absolutely mobbed. He's lost about 4 positions there in this matter of the same number of corners. It's crazy how close these guys are. And Jean du Toit once again powers past David Jeremy. Down the straight they go. David tucks in on the slipstream and looks to go around the outside of this fast sweeping left-hander. Nothing doing, but tucks in and is going to try. Oh, the sneaky move. Jean is very well aware that the move here is to try and go up the inside. Forces David Jeremy to go around the outside and try the undercut, but that is unlikely to work. He will have to move in behind, follow through this tight, twisty section, although we saw on the previous lap that David is unafraid to try and make a move around the outside of anyone here, and looking to possibly do it again. Oh, we got Andre de Lange back for some more action. David Jeremy squeezing him on the inside, is not willing to let him just have it all his own way, wants to make sure he sticks in with this Class L pack and ensure that he keeps being able to put the pressure on to Jean de Toy. And now we're on board, of course, with Andre Duplessis. Many years of experience does Andre have, and is looking to try and attack David Jeremy. Oh, gets very wide on the exit there, just running into the dust. You can see Jean de Toy now fast forwarding a little bit. Jean de Toy trying to make a move on Barry Dunford. Clearly is definitely trying to get away from David Jeremy and all that extra pressure. If he can get past Barry, that will help alleviate that pressure, of course, and put it onto Barry himself. Barry defending incredibly hard all the way through this twisty section. Once again, generally speaking, not too many opportunities here, but Jean applying the pressure. You can see that car waggling around on the absolute limit of grip, trying different lines, trying different ways to potentially unside Barry and carve yourself out an opportunity to make a move. Oh, Jean getting so sideways. But let's see how we do for the rest of the field. Here we can see Jeff Gable coming across the line. An absolutely flawless victory for Jeff and Class B to start the day, weaving over the start-finish line. Brilliant result for Jeff. Congratulations to him and the B99. Very, very happy, you can see from Jeff there. Nick Hodgson now in Class L, also weaving across the line as he takes the checkered flag. Brilliant result there too. Andy Fulton coming across in second position. A lovely drive, a little bit of a lonely one after Sean Hepburn fell off the track, but great result for Andy nonetheless. Barry Dunford coming across himself. Wonderful result for Barry there too. But still manages to keep in touch with Barry. David Jeremy on board now as they cross the start-finish line. That's the checkered flag. And wow, what a race. You can see thumbs out from Jean de Toy there. Brilliant racing from these guys. Classic mid-pack Class L action. Let's now see how everybody finished in the standings. Alright, as the results flood in for race 1 of the Dunlop ATS Motorsport Lotus Challenge round here at Redstar Raceway, we've got Jeff Gable coming across in first in Class B, followed by JP Norkier and Andre de Lange. Unfortunately, Tina Curtis having a DNF there. Class L, we have Nick Hodgson, followed by Andy Fulton. Barry Dunford taking a wonderful third position, followed by Jean de Toy there.
Talking cock about the car, how was the race? But I'm the only one scoring points for the team, so don't take me out, eh?
Barry, race 1 done and dusted. That seemed pretty impressive. Tell us a bit about that.
Awesome race. Started in 5th, and after the third corner I was in 4th behind Ruan. Struggled to get past him. His car was as wide as possible, but good clean racing. And then Davide, who was behind me, got a double toe and he overtook us. And at the hairpin, Ruan and Davide sort of like had a bit of almost an oopsie, and Ruan spun out and put me back into 4th. And then I was catching up to Davide and he messed up in turn 12, I think it was. They put me into 3rd position and I managed to maintain that position to the end. So I had 2 laps to go to keep my head level and finish in 3rd, my first ever.
How's the car going?
Okay. I don't think we went faster than yesterday first session out. Different tyres now, so I had to get used to that. Yes. But I was mostly watching the guys up front fighting, and then 2 or 3 guys spun in front of me and almost had bad incidents. And the new gent in Class B had a bit of a terrible time with his car, or with just not being used to it. So he dropped me off of the pack, and once you're off of the pack, you struggle. So it took me 3 or 4 laps to get back into the pack when they started fighting, and from there on it just had huge fun.
Nick, round 5, race 1 win. Congrats. Tell us how that went.
Thanks, Andy. Yeah, so managed to start on pole again from Desi, and yeah, Sean got a much better start than me, so he was alongside me going into turn 1, but luckily I was able to squeeze him a little bit and then take the normal line going through that chicane. Yeah, and then from there I got a little bit of a tow from Tennis before he did a me, and he broke his gear lever. But I saw and heard it happening, so I was able to pull out and not compromise anything. And then I got a little bit of a tow from the Bs in front of me. I was able to avoid Andre spinning, and then yeah, just find a gap, find my pace, find a rhythm, and yeah, kind of manage it from there a little bit. Still pushing, obviously, because these oaks are damn fast, but yeah, I was able to just get into a nice rhythm, and it yeah, all worked out.
I see Barry found some nice pace, 3rd place on the podium.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for Barry. He was struggling a little bit yesterday, and we had a look at some footage and we did some analysis, and yeah, the last session yesterday he made some big improvements, and I'm really stoked to see that that's translated now into a great result on track.
Time now for race 2, and temperatures have warmed up slightly, but it is still a very chilly day, even though it's sunny and it's lights out. Away they go. Andre de Lange getting a great start in Class B. They're looking to challenge Jeff Gable. Looks like Nick Hodgson has not got a good start and got passed immediately off the line. But let's have a look from Barry Dunford and a replay of the start. Looks like Barry gets a little bit swamped as well. You can see Sean Hepburn coming through the pack, trying to recover after that disastrous race 1 that he unfortunately suffered. Barry, though, going into turn 2, very nice and sensible, and looking to get a good exit. This is a way that you can definitely gain a lot of positions all over the back of Jean de Toy. Once more, we have Andre Duplessis now challenging Tim Venn down the long straight into this fast left-hander. Who is going to brave those tires first? Cold tires, cold brakes, cold everything. But it looks like Andre Duplessis just got that done. Oh, you can see David Jeremy with a little bit of a waggle there, showing just how dangerous this can be on those cold tires. You must watch out and make sure not to ruin your race on lap 1. But everybody getting through nice and safely. And once again, we see David Jeremy now later on in the lap making a move on Charles Marais and just sliding up the inside. Lovely little move there from David. Nick Hodgson now has to try and work his way not only back past Andy Fulton, but that also looks like Tennis Borges, who's got his car sorted after race 1. Andy now tucking in behind Tennis to get that little bit of a slipstream, try keep Nick Hodgson at bay, and currently doing so very successfully. You can see Ron van der Walt in the background there of in the rear view mirror of Nick Hodgson, and is hanging on to this top battle really well, looking to try and make any kind of move when if these guys make a mistake. Looks like Tennis Boot is going very defensive there, while Andy Fulton tries to find a way through, looking at all sorts of different lines and opportunities to try and attack and overtake. Somehow nothing happening just yet. Again, Tennis going very defensive. Great little battle this. Tennis, of course, with a little bit of extra power is going to help him on the straights here. I'm imagining he's going to pull away slightly, and that's going to leave Nick with options to possibly attack Andy going into turn 1 as he looks to make a move. Just shows his nose, but nothing doing there, nothing doing just yet. On the brakes hard through turn 2, and then down a gear into second, accelerating out of turn 3 now. Got to get a good exit out of turn 3 onto this very long straight. because this is where you pick up the slipstream, and look at that. It's just so powerful in these Lotus Challenge cars. Allows him to draw alongside, sweep past, and then get on the brakes super hard. Make sure you don't overcook this long left-hander, which is absolutely critical. So now Nick leading Class L provisionally, but on board now with Barry Dunford. Oh, you can see Jean de Toy trying to sneak up the inside of Sean Hepburn there. Nothing doing yet, but we've got Davide Favo, who has having a phenomenal race in race 1. Before that small mistake just cost him loads of positions. Sean desperately trying to keep these 3 guys behind them. Of course, Barry and Sean are teammates, so they'd love to be working together on this one. But with Jean and Davide in the middle of this battle, it's unlikely Barry's going to be able to do much to help Sean out at this stage. Davide Favo all over the back of Sean. You can see Sean getting quite squirrely. I don't know if he's managed to fix the issues with that car that he was having. Oh, Jean de Toy just locking up slightly, and that's allowed Barry to take a better line and close up onto the back of Jean. Jean, notoriously difficult to pass, goes to the inside for turn 1. If Barry can stick this around the outside, no, doesn't look like he's able to, and possibly trying to line himself up for this long straight. Once again, unsight Jean. You've got Andre Duplessis in the background. You can see Andy Fulton sticking out a finger as Nick Hodgson made that move, a replay of that move there, and Nick goes sailing through. I'm not sure if Andy's letting Nick through or just saying, hey buddy, I see what you're doing there. Andre Duplessis all over the back of Barry Dunford though. You can see Tennis Bortis has just gone off the track. That's unfortunate. And Andre is now all over the back of Barry, all over the back of Jean, who's all over the back of Davide, and all over the back of Sean. Sean leading this train of cars. We certainly see it in Formula 1 where you get a DRS train sort of formed, and that feels like what we've got a little bit here. Everybody after that slipstream trying to gobble it up and use it to their full advantage. Andre Duplessis trying to make advantage of this tight left-hander, almost getting a move done on Barry Dunford, but not quite. Barry, you can see they're changing gears, trying desperately to keep Andre behind him, and trying to find a way to utilize some of that pace, that extra pace that he found on Friday practice. So far, with all of this racing going on though, it's very difficult to do so. David Jeremy now all over the back of, I think that's Andre Duplessis. We've got another car joining this long train in the mid-pack of Class L. Phenomenal stuff from these guys. Andy Fulton, you can see, just managing to stick in the slipstream of Nick Hodgson. Nick dipping a wheel into the dirt there. That's very brave. It could easily spit you off, and he's probably unlikely to want to do that many more times. David Jeremy now all over the back of Andre Duplessis in the slipstream, trying to go around the outside. Oh my goodness, and there was a touch, wheel-to-wheel touch. That could have ended so badly, but luckily it seems like these guys have just about got away with it. My goodness, that could have been a serious problem for these two guys, but no harm, no foul. And once again, lap 4 now, and Andre Duplessis is all over the back of Barry, looking to try and make a move. He's in the slipstream, he's going to go for the inside line. Barry sticks to the outside. Who's going to make it work? The move is on, and Barry unfortunately just losing out on that one, but getting the switchback. Is he going to be able to make a move up the inside of the next corner? Let's see how it plays out, because he's definitely going to have the overspeed on Andre, but Andre, wily old fox that he is, just covers that move off. You can see David Jeremy in the background just trying to make any kind of move now on Barry, not letting him get settled after that. Oh, going very wide. Oh, almost off the track. My goodness, kicking up a lot of dust, and that does give Barry a little bit of breathing room, who tries now up the inside of Andre. You can see Davide ahead, battling away with Jean de Toy. This is phenomenal racing. Oh, and David Jeremy just sneaks through as Barry's got his eyes focused on ahead. David says, thank you very much, son, I'll have that, and moves up a position. So now we have Sean Hepburn still desperately trying to break away from this pack, unsuccessfully so far. It looks like we're going to have 2 or 3 wide here. Jean de Toy going into turn 1, taking that narrow defensive line once more, and Andre Duplessis unable to do anything about it, but David Jeremy trying to go up the inside of turn 3, and that's unlikely to work out because you're going to have a worse exit. So we'll probably see him tuck in behind Andre, but no, actually slightly stronger pull on the straight, and that's allowed him to go alongside with Andre Duplessis and on the brakes hard into that sweeping left-hander. And David has somehow made that move work. You can see Barry Dunford is all over the back of Andre though, and looking to try and capitalize himself. So now we've got David Jeremy going into this tight left-hander. Got to keep the car tucked in all the way around here. You can see Barry in the background taking a slightly different line, and I actually think it makes him lose out slightly. More dust being kicked up. My goodness, these drivers can barely see. Everybody using absolutely all of the track to try and make sure that they get the maximum amount of speed. These guys are just dicing as hard as they possibly can. No quarter given nor asked, and Davide still trying to just defend at the moment from Jean de Toy. This has allowed Sean Hepburn just to find a little bit of a gap from these guys. Remember, 8 laps in the Redstar, in all of the Redstar races, being a slightly longer track. We have a slightly fewer laps, but that doesn't mean there are less opportunities. Far from it, as we see David Jeremy trying to make one of those opportunities for himself, going up the inside, and almost clashing wheels with Davide Favo. Davide having to back out of that one slightly, and that allows David just to go squeak past. And David is now up another position and looking to try and tackle Jean. So Davide once again towards the latter half of the race, struggling for position slightly and slipping back just a little bit. Andre Duplessis now all over the back of Davide, Barry all over the back of Andre, and everybody trying to get that perfect exit from turn 3 to look and make a move on the slipstream. But let's go on board now with David and Jean and Sean now all battling for the lead of this mid-pack battle. I think you can see Ron van der Waal just a little bit ahead of these guys, having a nice clean race and able just to focus on what he's doing. Jean de Toy focusing on what he's doing though, and making a wonderful move on Sean Hepburn, also a place we don't generally see too many overtakes being made. David once again loving this little spot for an overtake, has really got that corner sorted, that tight line through it, that tight narrow line. He's really got that absolutely waxed, forces Sean on a wider line than what he would have preferred, and that has allowed David just to get that move done. Not satisfied with one move though. Oh my goodness, he's out on the grass once again. David Jeremy dipping many wheels this time into the dirt and trying to make it work. Somehow it seemed to give him extra speed. I don't know if David's found some sort of secret source where there is extra speed to be found out on the dirt. That would seem extremely unlikely, but it was all over the back of Jean by the end of the start-finish straight there. Now on the long straight, the highway straight, so to speak, David is all over the back of Jean de Toy and trying to make a move around the outside now. Very brave. Can he sweep round? It looks like he's going to make this move, just possibly spooking Jean slightly there. Wasn't expecting David to brake quite so late, and around the outside he goes, makes the move stick on lap 8, and this looks like Nick Hodgson is going to come across the start-finish line for yet another victory. A great result there for Nick, having to battle Andy Fulton at the beginning of the race there and Tinas Brotus and get past both of those guys. But further back in the pack, we need to check out how the end of Class L turns out, how this mid-pack battle. Looks like David Jeremy has just about got it sewn up, but Jean de Toy is all over the back of him. Look at this, right at the end of the lap here. Is there going to be a last-minute gasp, a last-minute move? Oh my goodness, again, another touch, and that's put Jean back a couple of positions. Luckily, they all managed to just about scramble across the start-finish line. My goodness, that was an insanely close finish in the end. Wow, look at how close these guys are. There's going to be almost less than a tenth separating them. It was so close. But let's take a look at the results now for race 2. In Class B, we have Jeff Gable once again coming across the line in first position, followed by Andre De Lange and Tinus Portas, JP Nokia, unfortunately with a DNF himself this time. In Class L, Nick Hodgson takes another victory, followed by Andy Fulton and Ruan van der Walt this time in third, with Sean Hepburn and Davide Favo following on closely behind. But now after race 2, let's hear from the drivers.
Andy, race 2 done and dusted. That was one hell of a battle from the outside it looked. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no, this was absolutely awesome. I managed just to get Nick on the start, so I was quite chuffed with that. So I got myself from second to first with a battle. Managed to hold it for a while, and luckily I had 1 or 2 Class B cars. I had a lovely tow, and I think we did about a lap, and then I saw Nick was right on me, so he was harassing me. And nice clean pass, he passed me down the straight, fair and square. He went for it. That actually I think helped me, it benefited a bit. I tried to follow his lines for as much as I could, and then halfway through the race my exhaust cracked. Well, that was it, guys. I thought this is it, I'm done. I stuck a hand out, I managed to support the silencer through the corners, and the car had lost a bit of power, but I stuck it out, and yeah, she got me home, so I'm extremely chuffed. It was an absolutely awesome race, and track conditions are better, and I did some mods after the first race, and it was definitely improvement. So yeah, I'm ready for the next race.
Good luck, dude.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, last but not least, we have race 3, and it's lights out, and away we go. Wow, you can see Andre De Lange getting really squirrely off the start line, and looks to be challenging Jeff Gable into turn 1. Almost made it work. You can see the rest of the pack following on. Oh, Sean Hepburn there, just kicking up a little bit of dust, possibly locking a tire and trying to go round the outside of turn 3. Looks like it might have worked for him. Let's see, we've got Andre De Lange and Nick Hodgson on boards right now. Andy Fulton trying to go round the outside of Nick, doesn't quite work out. Andre De Lange following on behind JP Nokia. JP getting his car going again. Fantastic to see him back in the race there. Barry Dunford now trying to make moves on the first lap, going into this fast left-hander, just getting very squirrely. Remember, once again, these guys are going to be struggling with cold brakes and tires, and on those brakes really hard. That's a good way to warm them up. I tell you what, Andre De Lange all over the back of JP Nokia now. JP's car all sorts of squirrely. I'm imagining this it's got a lot to do once again with those cold tires, particularly affecting Class B with so much more power over Class L, and Andre De Lange keeping a nice tight line through this little section here, but it looked like JP was able to scamper away with a slightly unorthodox line. Great to see guys trying different stuff and having it work out for them. Nick Hodgson just managing to fend off Andy Fulton at this stage, but once again he has Tinus Portas to contend with, going into third gear and slotting in behind to pick up that slipstream. We've got Andre Duplessis now looking to make a move on Charles Marais. It looks like that's just about successful as we go on to this mini straight, now on board with David Jeremy, and sliding past Barry Dunford. I think Barry made a mistake there and put himself onto the dirty side of the track, and it just spits you off, so you really got to slow down and try and make that corner work around the outside. And David is now all over the back of Sean Hepburn. Let's see if he can keep his nose clean after bashing wheels a couple of times in race 2. Andy Fulton now all over the back of Nick Hodgson. You can see Nick just trying to find a little bit of a gap, give me a little bit of a chance, and I'm gonna have a go. And he has a go on Tinus as we go into the last sweeping left-hander at this anti-clockwise version of Redstar. Sweeps through the last corner, pushes Tinus a little bit wider, gives himself a little bit of breathing room, but Tinus is going to have lots of power on Nick, and he's probably going to be able to make an overtake on this long start-finish straight. But Andy Fulton looks to dive down the inside and have a go himself in turn 3. Gets straight past Tinus, and definitely helps his teammate out there, because that's going to block Tinus from making a move on Nick Hodgson there. On board now with back with David Jeremy all over the rear of Sean Hepburn, and looking to make a move, and this should be done and dusted, because David is going to have the nice grippy inside line, and he's going to force Sean out onto the slippery outside line, and has that well taken care of. David used to working his way through the traffic now, and very much getting a good taste of what it's like to race in Class L today. Tinus Bortus now. Oh, another little mistake from Tinus, and that's him off into the dirt. That's really unfortunate. And you can see the front-running L's all just absolutely stream past. Tinus coming back onto the track very safely and sensibly there. That's great to see. It's really unfortunate when you make a mistake as a driver and you're always kicking yourself, but you've got to make sure you rejoin nice and safely. Safety is absolutely the priority for everybody here at Lotus Challenge. Oh, speaking of, we've got Rowan van der Walt trying to safely overtake Davide, who's trying to safely overtake Tinus. That was really close. That was really close, but everybody comes through it unscathed. And now we've got Barry Dunford looking to attack his teammate Sean Hepburn, who's got Tinus Bortus just ahead of him. Tinus taking a very wide line, possibly getting out the way or getting the corner wrong. I think he's just getting out the way. Something possibly wrong after he went off the track there. So letting everybody through, and Barry Dunford is now able to try and use that slipstream to get himself closer once again to his teammate Sean Hepburn, keeping this car very nice and level through the twisty sections, while David Jeremy is all over the back of Rowan van der Walt. Rowan keeping the normal line through turns 1 and 2, looking to capitalize up ahead on Davide Favo. This mid-pack battle, I tell you what, has been absolutely phenomenal all day, and Rowan now finds himself in the midst of it, having been very far ahead in race 2. So it's going to be a close dice, this one for sure. Andre Duplessis now getting on with a double slipstream on Barry, then pulling up, getting a slipstream on Sean, and looking to try and make a move. Oh, that's close. Look how close the front wheel of Andre Duplessis is to the back of Barry's car. And luckily both guys live to fight again another day, but jeepers, there was centimeters in that. Oh, Barry making a move on his teammate. That was a dive of note, but I think Sean saw it coming and knew his teammate has a little bit of extra pace, lets him through, but it looks like Andre Duplessis managed to squeak through as well. Speaking of squeaking through, David Jeremy once again using that super narrow line to try and effect an overtake. Rowan van der Walt having none of it though, learned David's technique from the earlier races and has these guys have got wise to it, but David has swept around the outside of the last corner. Brilliant move there from David. Super close racing, super tight racing, and using that slipstream of Davide ahead to just keep himself ahead of Rowan and prevent... Oh, who's locked up there? Somebody's locked up ahead. Looks like Jean de Toy again. We've seen quite a few lockups from Jean today. I think on new tires, but struggling with the new rubber possibly. And Andre Duplessis now taking on Barry Dunford once more. Barry sticking to that outside line. You can see just how much dust is being kicked up from the guys in front. Barry clearly unhappy about something, smacking the steering wheel. Is either unhappy about all the dust being thrown in his face, or his own exit from the corner. But Andre Duplessis gets that move done and dusted, goes up the inside, and Barry now has to regroup and re-attack Andre, make sure he can get back to where he feels he rightly belongs. Oh, and that's David Jeremy so tight to Davide Favo. Davide almost losing the car. You can see how squirrely he's getting and trying to go around this outside line. It will give him the inside for the next corner, which will be great, but it is a slightly slower line from the exit just because it's so slippery, and Davide does keep that position, but David gets that cut back and now is going to have the inside line for the next corner, which is exactly where you want to be because that's where the grip is. And David goes super defensive, make sure he keeps that position. Great racing there from David. And now once again battle resumes between David and Jean. We saw a little bit of argy-bargy between them at the end of the last race. There was a bit of contact. Luckily I don't think there was any damage to the cars. They certainly seem back to their pristine conditions, and Jean taking that nice tight inside line, definitely where you want to be, especially if you're defending. And David has to slot in behind and think about his next move, try and line it up, try and plan it ahead of time. You can see Jean going very wide on the exit there. That allows David once more to catch up behind him, taking a much wider line, but it gives him the opportunity to line the car up better out of this tight exit. But Jean doing absolutely absolutely brilliantly there and managing to keep David behind him for the moment. Rohan van der Walt though going round the outside of this long left-hander. Oh, what a great move. What a great move there from Rohan. Brilliant racing. Oh, but there's a touch. There's a touch on David this time. I'm pretty sure that is David, who then locks up. My goodness, we've seen a lot of wheel-to-wheel touching in this race today, or the races today, and that was close. That could have gone really badly. We've seen in the past there where these guys touch wheels in that manner, and it just sends the car behind straight up into the air. Davide Favo can attest to that, having done it last year and just getting absolutely shot up into the air. So Rohan very lucky to come away with that unscathed, but not letting it bother him at all. Double slipstream for Rohan. Where's he going to find the move? He's just going to be able to get past John. I say just, I mean that's fantastic that he is getting an overtake maneuver done very squirrely through this left-hander, but another move done and dusted. But he's looking to try and overtake David. And Barry Dunford now looking on behind on this mid-pack battle. Barry has fallen back slightly. We've seen him much quicker throughout each of the other races, but seemingly struggling in this last race. You can see David, but Barry Dunford makes a move and is going to take Jean de Toy there. Jean going all the way around the outside and looks to be stopping. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Jean seems to have fallen off. We'll have to find out what's gone on at the end of the race. Oh my goodness, Rohan trying to go around the outside of David. That's never going to work out, unfortunately, there. But these guys really pushing the limits of what these Class L cars can do, with Davide Favo just in the background there, looking to capitalize on any kind of mistake that these two guys might possibly make with this battle. David Jeremy hard on the brakes now into this mini straight, and looks to try and pull away. Rohan is definitely going to be in the slipstream though, but there we see Jeff Gable crossing the line, followed by Andre De Lange and Nick Hodgson coming across for Class L, and followed by Andy Fulton. And again, look at this Class L battle for the mid-pack. Wow, that is just super duper close. Incredible. Let's have a look at the results now. So for the last race of the day, race 3 results, we in Class B, we have Jeff Gable once again coming home in first place, followed by Andre De Lange. A great result for Andre on his first and his debut for Lotus Challenge. Tinus Portis coming home in third, Hodgson in Class L, followed by Andy Fulton, and Rohan van der Walt there again managing a third.
I believe someone put you on the start again.
Yeah, someone did put me on the start. This is becoming a problem in my life.
Well, I'm going to try and make it a habit, but it just seems I can't, if I get you on the start, I can't keep you there. So, yeah. But the moment you pass me, then at least I know I'm following some good lines.
Yeah. So, no, we had a nice little race at the beginning there.
Yeah.
It took us a while to get past old Tinus.
We did. We battled a bit.
But I threw a move into the last corner.
Yes.
Where did you get it?
Well, I tried that, but I didn't make it, so I followed him up the straight.
Yeah.
And I got him at turn 2.
Okay.
And fortunately, I got in, and I thought, this is a straight now, he's going to come past me.
Yeah,
then John also pulled in there, so that gave me a bit of a buffer.
Okay.
So then it was first and second. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It was great.
Lovely
great.
race.
Yeah.
Great day.
Yeah. Absolutely. So well done, brother.
You too, man. Thank you.
All good.
We'll see you at Desi.
See you at Desi. Appreciate it.
Not Desi, Aldo.
Sorry, Aldo Scrivanti.
Aldo Scrivanti.
Yeah. See you there, month's time.
Time now for the podium ceremony.
Goes to you, David. So in third place we had Davide. Hold your trophy and smile.
Smile now.
Second place. You almost let me down today.
Not
You came back nicely. Well done, Andy. You didn't want to race today. Nick, well done. You love records like 2 seconds.
Let's do this then. The lap record breaker. Crazy.
Third place goes to Tinus. And I have to say that Tinus is normally complacent the back. So we've been having a couple of chats, a few of us. It did. And it made a difference. You can see in the driving today. So really good. First day with us, first day on the podium. Andre, well done. He was very close to the lap record, but then he decided he'll take it a bit easy, so he went a bit slower because he didn't have to go that fast. But it was well controlled race and well driven, Jeff. Thank you.
All the lap records.
In 2 weeks time, tomorrow, 2 weeks time.
And just bring money for Jean's fuel.
Brilliant to see that podium ceremony. The guys super happy after all the hard work here at Redstar Raceway. But we turn our attention now to the next round, to the 6th round of this 2025 championship, where we'll be going away. It is yet another away race for Lotus Challenge. We are down in PE, Aldo Scribanti, on the 5th of July. So join us then. We cannot wait.